Livewire is back and ready to show off with Pandemic Studios' Mercenaries 2. Hopefully we'll see some explosions. I know you guys won't disappoint. Will, it's all you.
So let's start out, while he's still getting set up a little bit, let's talk a little bit about the story behind the game.
Sure.
Obviously, you know, the characters from the first one are returning. What are they doing this time out?
Okay, well, it's essentially a payback story, you know, so the start of the game, you know, you're in Venezuela, you're doing a contract for, like, you know, some kind of scummy business dude. But this guy kind of makes the biggest mistake you can make when you're working with a mercenary, and that is he stiffs you. He doesn't pay you, right? So you do a job for him, he doesn't pay you.
Don't you just kill him at that point?
Well, you know, there's some complications that, you know, so you'll have to play through the game, see how things unfold in the first part of the game. But long story short, the kind of game story I would summarize as you leveling an entire country to get back and get your paycheck from this dude. So, you know, so it's all about escalation. You know, you start from just working this one contract and you end up basically causing World War III and leveling an entire country.
Should we get to it and we'll ask some questions?
Yeah, you guys all set up?
Yeah, let's jump in.
Perfect.
Let's jump in. So here we're seeing Matthias, you know, so he's our merc coming back from the first game, Will, like you asked. So we got all three mercs coming back. This is Matthias, our crazy Swedish kind of outlaw badass. And, you know, we're in the jungles of Venezuela. Our mission here is we're going up to destroy a bunker. It's kind of up over that hill there. And so, you know, Ali, jump in. Let's, you know, so I'm going to get Ali to just play through the game. We thought what we'd bring for you guys today. So we're running live on the PS3. You know, the PS3 version of the game, it looks fantastic. It's like, you know, super action-packed, really great graphics, performing really well. And so what we thought we'd do is just really show you guys the basic gameplay of the game. You know, we're just going to run through a mission. Ali's going to show you some of the really cool toys you got. You know, the game gives you so many options of what to do. We don't put any restrictions on where you can go, how you can play, what you can do at any particular time. You know, it's really about just, you know, keeping it freeform and incredibly
like
awesome
making a rolling bomb, for instance.
Yeah, like making a rolling bomb. So there, Ali's kind of, you can see flashing on the front of his car. He's got some C4, and he's kind of going along. He's in a Venezuelan Jeep, so right now he's can roll up on these guys, and they think it's just one of their guys until Ali does this.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
So he's going to clean up this area. So, you know, so Ali sees there in front of him, he's got like, there's a SAM marker, that red thing. That's something that prevents you from calling in like airstrikes and stuff like that. So Ali's going to take some cover. He's going to call in one of the smaller airstrikes, which we use to take out kind of bigger air cover, and so he can kind of call in some more support. So, you know, so the game has a kind of really, we let you do anything, but then there's kind of like in-world reasons, you know, like where you have to call in airstrikes to take out something specific. You know, an airstrike like that, you can call in anywhere you like. You can call it in the middle of one of our very, you know, populated cities. You can call it in the middle of the jungle. You can call it in the water on giant oil rigs. We got these crazy pirate islands. You know, there's a lot of different environments in the game. You know, today we're really showing the jungle, but, you know, we go everywhere. So here Ali's using one of our features. We call it support. You've got these recruits in the game that you actually recruit over the course of the story. And Ali's called in for a monster truck. You know, we're going to escalate a little bit up from the Jeep we took from the VZ guys. You know, because we're mercenaries, right? We don't have to be soldiers. We can bring in, you know, sports cars, monster trucks.
Mercenaries.
Exactly.
This Sunday.
Exactly right. You paid for the whole seat.
That was my awesome impression.
It was very good. It was just like being
Thank you.
So you mentioned that you know, this is a jungle environment, obviously, with lots of trees. For anybody who played the first game, might have a question. Can you destroy trees this time?
Yeah, of course. And I think we'll be showing you a fair bit of that. So here Ali's kind of running up against a recoilless rifle. So, you know, those things are very, very dangerous. We probably don't want to take it on the monster truck. So Ali's going to escalate to the next level of airstrike and kind of take out this whole area. But yeah, no, the trees, the forests are all fully destructible. They're all fully animated. You know, they look really, really cool. Everything catches fire. So here we're going to call in something called the rocket artillery strike. So this one is like, you know, Ali has to do a little targeting here. This one is, you know, it's one of the strikes that's really powerful, but very imprecise, and it kind of just comes in and it levels an entire area.
Oh,
you know,
nice.
so it's, you know, death from above, and you can see the entire forest catching fire there. So yeah, we didn't just do tree destruction, we did kind of entire forest destruction. And so that big flash there was like, yeah, there's all these kind of different things in the world, like these fuel resources, things you can pick up and find. And a lot of those, you know, they power your airstrikes, so there's a kind of really kind of fun kind of collection dynamic to the whole game.
I see that some things are still on fire. How long was that going to burn for? I mean, is it spreading?
It'll burn for a minute or two. Yeah, it spreads
yeah.
in a very limited sense. You know, we decided not to make it so you could drop one bomb and eventually the whole world burns down. But yeah, you know, fires like will, you know, things will blow up things that they're next to and stuff like that.
How does the airstrike and supply system work? Is it the Merchant of Menace again, or
this was actually a little different. This time we actually gave you a home base, so you've actually got your own kind of PMC, and it's actually like, you know, like I told you, there's that scumbag at the start of the game who crossed you. Your home base is actually you take over his kind of villa that he has at the start of the game. We have a really cool mission where you attack this kind of crazy villa and you move in. And from there, you get your recruits, and you actually build up all your support by working with the various factions that you meet in the game. Like here, Ali's bringing in a tank that earlier in the game we worked with this oil company, and so here's one of our recruits. So he's going to take off. He's actually dropping it in. He's taking too much fire, so he's getting out of there. So there you go. There's your destructible tree.
Can they actually be fired down?
Yeah, well, he gets shot so much that he'll take off under fire, and like so here you saw him actually just drop the tank because he was like, oh god, I'm under fire. He just panics and drops the tank. We were lucky and it fell on the road and we could take it, but it could have just as easily fallen into the forest or into the water. You know, it's really up to you as the player to make the area safe to bring in. You know, so here, there's one of those fuel tanks. So we could have collected that and actually added that to our stockpile, but Ali elected to use it as kind of a bomb instead.
And how many times are you allowed to call them in? I mean, is it like a never-ending supply?
Well, so you've got a stockpile. So you've basically got, you've got let's say 5 or 6 of these tanks in your stockpile. You can call 5 or 6 in. If you want to get more, you've got to go back to the faction, talk to them. If they're happy with you, they'll sell you more. That's one of the interesting things about the game, is that the different people you work with, if you annoy them, it's kind of a little bit like the first game, but I think we've done a much better job making it kind of clearer and more integrated into the game this time. If you annoy the faction, they'll stop selling you stuff. They're like, no, what? Screw you. You've been shooting our guys and stealing our stuff.
We're not going to sell you the first game in that there's a gauge, sort of?
Yeah,
how
exactly.
You are with each faction and stuff.
We have a very cool. We've kind of bumped it up a little bit here. We got a very cool mechanic we call reporting, where they'll actually like kind of report on you. So you'll actually be playing and like messing with them. And you'll actually see them, they'll run and they'll go hide and they'll call their boss and they're like, hey, the mercenary's here, he's screwing with us. And if you can hunt them down and kill them before they finish calling you in, you can actually get away with blowing up all their stuff. So the player's got a really great way of managing their faction hits, which is really cool.
Obviously the airstrikes are a pretty huge part. Are there any super crazy amazing ones that we're kind of escalating here. We've gone from the Jeep to the monster truck with the tank. You know, here Ali's getting pursued by a helicopter. I don't know if you can see. So I think Ali's going to turn it around here and try and take the helicopter. We have a really cool grappling hook, so you can grapple onto helicopters. But yeah, we're kind of going to build up to one of the bigger airstrikes in the game. We'll show you that in a couple of minutes. But so one of the really cool things about the game, tanks are like one of the most powerful things. Probably you can pretty much take out anything. But helicopters are one thing that's kind of more powerful than a tank. So here Ali's kind of decided to ditch out of the helicopter. He's going to slam this guy's head in the door. Have a little mini game up there.
Should have an option of being able to pull him up into the blades and stuff. But then unfortunately,
each vehicle in the game that you can hijack has its own kind of mini game, and a lot of them are like really funny. They have their own little stories that go on with them, and they can all be failed in multiple ways. So that's there's some that are pretty hilarious. What you do to the poor victims.
Pretty awesome.
Well, hilarious if you're not on the receiving end.
Yeah.
So now so obviously this puts a whole different perspective on the game. So, a minute ago we were on tanks, we were calling in airstrikes. Now we're having aerial dogfighting with another helicopter. These helicopters, you can blow them up in lots of different ways. Here, Ali actually managed to shoot through the windscreen and take out the pilot, so it just kind of crashed. I think that's given Ali an idea of what he can do with his helicopter. You can always use a helicopter as a kind of flying bomb. Literally everything in the game is destructible. We took that as a kind of religion on the game. We were just like, everything comes apart in a kind of cool looking way.
Since it all does come apart, can you get wounded or hurt from shrapnel from
absolutely,
everything
So like any kind of big chunks that come up are going to kind of hurt you, crush you. If you can arrange so that things fall over on enemies, it'll crush them. It'll crush tanks and stuff like that. So it's a really kind of cool extra mechanic for people. You can conserve a lot of ammo if you can collapse a bridge or a building on someone.
Oh, so there's one of those.
Yeah, so there's another one, exactly.
There's one of those humorous ones.
Yeah, exactly. Every time we show that to people, everyone goes, "Ew, he jumped in there after doing that? That's so gross." But hey, you're a mercenary. You do what it takes.
Oh God, I didn't even think of that. Yeah,
I'm sorry for putting that image in your
head. It's very sticky in there.
Added a whole new dimension to the game.
So yeah, I want Ali to kind of show you a pretty cool airstrike here. So he's taking this tank. We're going to go in. Like something that's kind of cool and fun. Something I love as someone who works on the game. It's something that still excites me. Is just the constant transitions from like on-foot gameplay, into vehicles, into helicopters. You're just constantly getting a different view on the game. Like here, we're doing our little, Gears of War impersonation. A little bit of stop and pop here. But I thought, we'll get Ali to kind of finish things off in a very kind of mercenary style.
Let's end it with a bang.
Finishing things off, let's move on to reader questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think this is pronounced as Yasker. I'm hoping. Are there going to be more classes besides the 3 that were shown in the past?
Well, I think Yoska means by classes the 3 characters, and we got the 3 mercs from the first game coming back, but we've given them a pretty substantial upgrade in terms of their character and style. They got custom outfits that you can use. Right, so there's that's the tactical nuke that you can call into the game.
Nice.
So explosion that literally won't fit on the screen.
All right, now.
And like anything, that's something that you can earn in the game. You can call it in anywhere. You can see what happens when you call that in anywhere you want, anytime you like. But yeah, no. So it's the 3 characters that are coming back. They each have their own special abilities and specialities, but all of them are awesome in their own way.
Awesome. Now, just a follow-up question to that. This is still from Yasker. The game looks sweet, which
Thanks.
I mean, it does.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
Are there any plans on licensing the engine behind the game?
You know, I don't think there's any specific plans in place. Never say never. You know,
Yeah.
let's see what the future holds. You know, right now we want to get Mercs 2 into the hands of gamers everywhere. You know, we really hope everyone's excited, and you know, we want to see everyone out there and playing it, and then we'll see.
Now, you had mentioned a little special something at the end of this. Was the nuke?
Yeah,
that
the
was
nuke
it?
was what we wanted to show you.
Not that was bad. Don't get me wrong.
You want us to top that?
I just want to make sure we covered all of our bases. Will, do you have any follow-up questions you want to mention, or are you pretty?
When can we expect to see Mercenaries too?
So Mercs, we're shipping worldwide August 31st here in North America, September 5th in Europe, and that's coming out PS3, 360, PS2, and PC. And so yeah, we're really excited to be bringing it to the world. Great.
Awesome. Well, it certainly looks sweet. I mean,
Thanks.
You did not disappoint on the explosions. And
Thanks.
fans of the first game should be getting what they want. We will be back after a short break with, guess what, guys? More game demos.
Woohoo! Woo!